Okay.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Nice seeing you everyone. We are going to give people 1 more minute and then we are going to start. But it's so nice to see you all joining us today. So welcome to our Friday's call. My name is Paula Ara. I am the Executive Director of the Hawaii Afterschool Alliance, and I'm very, very happy, as I said before, to see you all here joining us for this meeting. So I am going to pass the mic to Jen and Lexi, the Afterschool Alliance wonderful team members. And I hope you enjoy our meeting today.
Hi, thanks, Paula. Before we get started, I just want to run through a couple quick announcements. The first is we are hosting an out-of-school time resource fair to connect after-school and summer learning programs to community partners that can provide resources and services. It's kind of like a virtual conference exhibit hall where you'll get a chance to network and form partnerships with others. I'll drop the link to register in the chat. And if you're interested in hosting a table, please contact us as soon as possible. The next announcement is we have been, our survey has been open for a couple weeks now. We're taking a survey to assess the after school day and then childcare needs of our families in Hawaii. If you've not already filled out the survey, please do, and then pass it along to others who can fill it out. The last day to fill it out and submit it is Tuesday, March 2nd. So that's Tuesday of next week. And I can drop that link in the chat as well. But with that, I'll hand it back to Jen.
Okay, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen with the Hawaii Afterschool Alliance, and just thank you again for joining us today to listen to our youth and hear what they have to say. We like to invite you to introduce yourselves with your name and then to also share what your favorite activity was to do after school when you were a kid. So name and then what your favorite thing to do after school is. And then I'll also say while you're typing that in the chat box, as we go through our panel, feel free to also pop in questions that you may have for our youth. We'll have a Q&A section at the end, so we'll be able to get to your questions then. But feel free to put it in the meantime. So yeah, just thank you for joining us. And we, I'm sure like we all know how important it is to be listening to our youth and centering all the work that we do around them, because that's who we're working for. And I also just wanted to give a huge thank you in advance to our 4 amazing youth who have joined us today and are being brave and courageous and just sharing their thoughts and experiences with us. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our youth to introduce themselves with their name, grade, school, what after school or summer program they're a part of, and then also what their favorite activity to do after school is. So anyone want to kick us off? Carlos?
Okay, I can go. Hi everyone, my name's Carlo Dekiwa. I'm a senior from Pahoa High School, and I participated in the YMCA Atherton. And my favorite thing to do after school is student council.
Hi, my name is Kiyomi Suarez, and I'm a senior at Nanakuli High Intermediate School. And the after school program I'm a part of is Nanakuli Boys and Girls Club. Everything I like to do was go to JROTC after school and participate in their activities.
Hi, my name is Daleen Arce. I'm a senior. I go to I go to Studio Shaka. My favorite thing to do is I like to go out with my friends and try new things like videography and photography.
Hi, my name's Sunshine. I'm a 10th grader at Connections Public Charter School, and I'm also with Studio Shaka. And favorite thing to do outside of school would probably be doing some form of art or going to different thrift stores and shopping for secondhand clothes and such.
Thank you all for being here today. So we'll just jump right in. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about your after school program or the summer program that you went to? Kind of talk about what you did there or what you do there, and then what did you like about it?
Well, so for the YMCA, I was a part of their college camp program, which is a three-part program during the summer. And I attend I attended the first one, but unfortunately due to COVID, I couldn't attend the next one. But during college camp, they brought in a bunch of students from across the state to the island of Oahu, and we got to stay at UH Manoa, live the college experience, and we did a couple college tours around the island, and they've set up like interviews with business representatives and people with like who are just a part of these businesses, and we were able to network with them, do interviews with them, and we were just all able to connect and just live that experience that we're hoping to receive after our senior year.
At the Nautically Boys and Girls Club, I personally am part of the Leaders in Training program, where we mentor our young leaders in the Torch Club, and we also do fundraisers. I'm also a part of the Kids Cooking Local, where we're able to take home food and cook them at home. Due to COVID-19, we're not able to cook it at the Boys and Girls Club. But at least we get free food. I'm also a part of the Youth of the Year, which is a national statewide thing where I learn how to have public speaking skills. Still working on it. Think I'm improving a whole lot better. And that's what I do at the Boys and Girls Club.
I'm part of Studio Shaka. What we usually do here, we actually do a lot of stuff. We do laser designs with wood, acrylic, sometimes with stone, and you can just like design whatever you want. We also have a really good recording studio, and if you want to like record songs that you wrote and whatnot. We also do coding and Raspberry Pis, which is really awesome too.
At Studio Shaka, both me and Daleen are studio producers, so we kind of watch other kids and then we get to learn with them or teach them some of the skills that we might know. Or we also just kind of help them learn whatever they want to, pretty much. We also do a lot of other more like crafty type things. So recently we've been making a lot of jewelry, but we've also done a lot of button making, drawing, painting. What else do we do? We've done clothing design and sticker design, soap making, just definitely a lot of different things. Pretty much whatever a student is interested in, we just kind of take it and roll with it.
That's awesome. Thank you all for sharing. All I did after school in high school was like play tennis, which sounds so boring compared to all the awesome things that you guys have done. So next month will be coming up to a year since COVID started and we went into shutdown and everything moved to virtual. So can you talk about what this past year has been like for you? What has your experience been during COVID?
Well, for for the beginning of COVID, there's that excitement of not going to school, right? But when school had been starting back up in the first quarter, it kind of got hard to produce that motivation that you receive from the pressure of being in school. So now that I don't feel that type of pressure around being teachers or other classmates or being in class, it's been difficult. But for me, I think I represent more of the easier side of COVID when it comes to academics. So my school kind of run things a little differently. We don't have mandatory online classes. We just get assignments. And for me, that's very easy. So that's just how my experience has been going, and I've been doing pretty well in terms of my well-being. So
I agree. At the beginning of the COVID-19, I was very happy that we didn't have to go to school. But then after a while, not being in school, I didn't get to see my friends that much. Even though I could call them, I still didn't call them. And then I was like, oh, I miss school. And then school came back out, and I say that I've done pretty well in my academics. I've been getting my assignments done. My schedule is different though. Instead of attending school all day, I'm able to attend school on top of like certain days, like Tuesdays, Wednesdays is check-in, and Fridays. So I have 2 whole days to myself to figure out what I want to do, which I think is very cool because I have free time on my hands, unlike when I did at school, like before the COVID. And I was also open an opportunity to be a part of the Boys and Girls Club. Beforehand, I was too busy with GRTC and sports, but now I'm able to do something else. And at least I look on the brighter side and I have a better opportunity to, yeah. Thank you.
I relate to a lot of what Kiyomi said in the beginning, how, at first you're like, yeah, school, but as like time went on and, I wasn't able to see any of my friends, being like stuck at home all day and, got like really like sad and repetitive, and you weren't sure like if there was ever going to be like, quarantine would be over. But I started coming back to school and I started joining Studio Shaka, and just knowing that like there are people that I surround myself with that will, help me and support me mentally, and you'd be like, hey, I understand what you're going through and we can go through it together.
Um, the beginning of quarantine for me was pretty difficult. Um, Once I got towards the summer, though, that was really great. It's just been kind of like a lot of ups and downs. Um, Definitely been very difficult to complete my schoolwork online, even though I do attend school. Um, I think 3 days out of the week, it's still definitely been pretty difficult to do schoolwork, and um, mental health hasn't been the best throughout this time. But but I've made a lot of great memories, and definitely being at studio, being able to safely socially interact with some people has been really great, a great privilege that not many people have had during this time. So I've been pretty grateful for that. But it's definitely been an interesting time.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. So I know Sunshine and then also Kiyomi, you guys mentioned that being able to go to the Boys and Girls Club or go to your after school program at Studio Shaka was helpful. Can you share a bit more about how your after school program supported you during this time?
At first, for my future I didn't really know where I wanted to be or where I saw myself. And now that the COVID-19 came, even more so, I didn't know where I wanted to be. At first, I was only thinking about joining the military, but being a part of the Boys and Girls Club and going to the Youth of the Year, I figured out more about myself and where I really want to see myself and what career I want to be a part of. And learning how to talk about myself really made me and encouraged me to go and sign up for college and get my degree inside of graphic design. And I really thank that for Boys and Girls Club. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have, even been here, and encourage other people and speak my thoughts. So I think the Boys and Girls Club did a really positive impact on my life.
Uh, yeah, the way that Studio Shaka supported me, it's kind of like just like one big family, and usually if like someone's going through something, either like their school life or home life, and they feel like they can't get through it alone, everyone just like kind of comes together, even if you don't know them that well, and they're like, hey, I got you, and let's like try to do something, or to help you make you feel better. And I think just like that kind of attitude alone has helped me tremendously to get through this pandemic, and just know that like I'm not alone out there.
Definitely what Daleen mentioned with Studio Shaka. Everybody's always here for you. We're like one big family, kind of. Um, so that's definitely been a big help. And then also just being here and being around people who are being creative and just being themselves has definitely helped a lot, because got a little bit difficult for me to continue doing the art forms that I like. And so then being here and being around other people who are being creative and stuff has definitely helped me to get back into um, a more creative space.
For me, I could definitely agree with what everyone said about having the people be very supportive of you, because I've had my mentors and my friends from college camp help me out with my college applications and helping me get through the overwhelming stress of applying for college and scholarships. And then there's also the resources and opportunities that they've provided. So for college camp, they've invited the participants to a career sneak peek on a Zoom call where they have a specific career, and we get to learn more about it, ask questions of these professionals. And so it's a lot of college and career readiness preparation that they've provided for us, and it's been really helpful during our um, life as seniors in high school. So
Yeah, awesome. I love that you guys kind of all touched on the importance of relationships and, being able to, one, make friends and like form friendships with your peers, but then also have mentors and caring adults who are, pushing you to go to college and have bigger dreams than maybe you thought they were possible before. So I love that you guys talked about that, because that's really the power of after school, is having those relationships with caring adults and mentors. So thank you for sharing that. So has there been anything positive that's happened during the pandemic? Like anything that you may have learned about yourself, or a new skill that you've developed? Any new quarantine hobbies that you picked up?
well, I picked up on a few hobbies during quarantine. I picked up on dance, and I've gotten a little bit better at cooking. So I've also made a lot of friends online, because there's a lot of, peers from across the state or across the country that, relate to being in quarantine as a high school student. So I've been able to meet a lot of people through virtual events.
Um,
Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
You can go first.
Sorry, you can go first. Oh, thank you. Yeah, a lot of things did happen. I got a lot more better at like juggling a whole bunch of things because I don't have any high school classes right now. Got all my credits, but in the first semester I was like juggling 8 classes at once, and you know my home life and my social life, and being at after school. It was like kind of a lot to handle all in 24 hours, but it's definitely taught me, like prepared me for the real world and how you have to handle a lot of stuff and still like maintain calm.
I've picked up a few hobbies. Dance. I play the ukulele. I learned how to play the ukulele. A couple songs. Cooking. And yeah. But being a part of the pandemic for the first time, I think it's really, I think it's very emotional at some point where you're kind of stranded in one place and you can't really socialize with that much people. Like you can't see the faces that you've seen every day while you were going to school. Now, things changed very drastically, and I agree with Carlo and sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Can I call you? Can I just call you D, or is that okay with you? Okay. I agree with them on top of the social aspect that you can go on top of media and socialize with other people because they are going through the same struggle as you. Thank you.
Um, Especially during like the summer part of quarantine, I picked up a lot of different hobbies. I learned how to sew, embroider. I started painting on clothes and stuff. Um, and then I also did a lot of different, kind of just did a lot of like self discovery and definitely focused on myself a little bit, grew as a person, which definitely, I said the sentence backwards. Studio has definitely helped me to grow as a person and become more creative and realize what I like to do and such. So
Awesome, thank you. So a lot of teachers and a lot of people on this webinar, are pretty concerned about students' academic learning and just that there's been some learning loss, and also about students, emotional, mental, social well-being. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you have those same concerns, or are you thinking and worrying about other things? What are your thoughts?
Well, I definitely agree. I have the same concerns. If there's one thing that I've realized early on during virtual learning, it's that the general learner outcome, self-directed learning that the Department of Education places does not apply to a lot of people because um, like there was that pressure of being in school that made you feel like you were a self-directed learner, but when you're at home and all these things are being assigned to you, you have to attend classes online. It's different. You don't get that same motivation or that same pressure to continue being the type of student you were in person. So it's definitely taken a lot of toll on our students' mental health and physical well-being and their academic learning. So a lot of students have been procrastinating, shifting their work schedules to late at night or early morning. So there's just a lot of things that have been kind of contributing to the downfall of students and their performance in school.
yeah, I can definitely
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. I've had a lot of trouble just personal experience, had a lot of difficulty with completing my work and keeping up the same grades that I had before the pandemic happened. And so yeah, it's definitely been challenging. And then also just the lot of different, also just the mental toll that that takes on you, really almost not knowing what to do, but just continuing to not know what to do. um Definitely just kind yeah.
I also agree. On top of the aspect that some students some students have a lot of things going on in their home life, you know, like dealing with the COVID. They're probably having side jobs, or they're babysitting or taking care of someone. So most likely they probably won't have enough time to finish their work, or they're trying to do their work at the same time watching other people, kids. Because in my personal experience, when I'm on top of online virtual schooling, I, in my GRTC program, I've seen many of kids holding babies while attending school. And I think it's most likely because their parents are out working and they have to go out and work and pay for the bills. So they're like, oh, their child is home, so why don't they just watch the kids while they're at school as well? And I also agree with Carlo on top of the teachers aspect, where they expect so much from their students. And you got to realize that they're also going through struggles too. And I think this kind of like touches my heart on that part, because, you know, sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional over here about this part. But there's kids that have parents that don't really care about their kid and what they're going through at that moment. So it's kind of struggling. It's kind of like they're being held back twice as much as they were before they were going to school. Well, at least for my personal, at least I'm blessed to have parents that actually care, because I've met plenty of people that had to go through those tough times as well. Sorry, get emotional.
Ooh, I would like to add something. So I definitely agree with what Kyomi said. Um, there are students, like, since they're at home all the time, there are students who are starting their families, who are still facing loss around this time period. So there's just a lot of things that are holding them back, and they're feeling all this emotional and mental stress that you don't really get to find out about unless they open up about it. So it, although you'll never know what a student's situation is really like, it's always good to like have that leniency with them, because you never know what they're really going through, and it's just a bit harder than it is back then.
Yeah, I strongly agree with what Kyomi and Carlo are saying, that you might not know what like a student's life is at home, because I have several friends that have literally families of 6 and 7, and they're all trying to do like their class, and the house is always loud, and they might not have like internet connection. And even though like the teacher might not know exactly what they're going through, they might just like write it off as like them not just wanting to be in class, and they'll be like, try to discipline them, and in reality it's like not their fault. And just like the fact that a lot of students go through that, and mostly like no one will know. And just the fact that everyone goes through something, and just how we need to learn how to communicate with each other. But I know it's not like that for everyone. Maybe this pandemic was easier for some students, but I've met a lot of people where they're like, oh yeah, this pandemic wasn't that hard. But once they realized what other people were saying and how hard their life was, they felt like more better to open up to people, because they knew that they'll be like relatable. And I think we should normalize that, and people talking about hardships that they're going through this pandemic.
Yeah, I think you guys are right on it. Like this pandemic has turned our whole lives upside down. And to quote what Paula said yesterday, we don't go through a pandemic every year. So this is all new for all of us. And I think shifting our expectations and knowing that we can't expect everyone to be performing at the same levels and doing school at the same type of level as before, that needs to shift. So do you guys have any suggestions on how like teachers or other after school programs can be supportive of students during this time?
I definitely think that it would be helpful if some time management and self motivation skills were shared or taught. It doesn't even have to be like a whole class on how to self motivate. Just like here's some tips that might help, or maybe just being a bit more understanding, probably, of the fact that it can be hard to focus, especially at home when there's other things. I know personal experience, hard to focus. I have two younger brothers who we have a lot of pets. My older brother is constantly practicing his electric guitar, like just maybe being a bit more understanding or teaching kids how to, focus when there's still lots of noise going on around them. Could definitely be helpful and very very useful.
Yeah, I totally agree what Sunshine was saying. Sorry. But I think another way is just like offering more like online options, just to interact with students who, um, sorry, just students who are like, completely 100% doing online school and they like never go out. Um, for Valentine's Day, me and Studio Shopper and a couple of other students, we ran around to people's homes. We were social distancing, and we just like we gave them like a craft from our bakery and just Happy Valentine's Day, just to know that we were thinking of them. And one of the students, she's very nice. Her name's Pamela. Um, we visited her and she was completely spacious. She texted me later on that day. She was like, I haven't seen another person in like 6 months besides my family. And just like the fact that you guys were thinking of me like made me cry. And I think, you know, even if it's just like one student, a big impact like that could, change everything.
One suggestion I have that I absolutely hate to ask of adults is to extend their time for students. And I know, like, I don't want to put control over anyone's lives and tell them to work a bit longer than they're meant to. But like I've had experiences where I'm trying to like communicate with adults at school, and like their day ends at 2 o'clock and that's it. After, like, I could send emails back and forth with them, but as soon as 2 o'clock hits, that's it. I have to wait till the next day. And if it's on a Friday, then they'll cut off their whole weekend. And it's just kind of hard for students who need a bit of support out of school. And that's why I hate asking adults of it, because it is going to go into their own personal life. But we're not asking for so much time. We're not asking you to be awake at 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. to help us with questions. But um, if if you can spare a little bit of time to maintain communication, even if it's out of school hours or your work hours, it would really be a big help for us students.
I agree with Carlo on, like, you should reach out or be open-minded and considerate about the other students or youths that you're working with. Because like I said, they're probably going through some tough times right now during this pandemic. And I agree that reaching out to them and trying to, you know, help them out is probably going to make them open up their eyes and realize like, oh, this person is working very hard to help me get to where I want to be. And I appreciate that. Hopefully they see that. If they don't, then that's their fault. But I agree with Carlo that reaching out to them and taking the time to help them would be very much appreciated. Like now. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks. So as COVID cases are going down and restrictions lifting and people are getting vaccinated, you know, hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more in-person programming. So what type of activities would you guys like to do? Kind of just imagine that you're in charge of like the Boys and Girls Club, or like you're your principal. So like, what are the things that you would do?
I would like to see social events because that's something we're clearly lacking here. And I don't want to just go back in person and sit through a presentation in person rather than virtual. So I just like to socialize with other people my age or create connections with adults that, you know, might write me a letter of recommendation in the future. So just making connections with people and just making it genuine rather than having it be networking and make it seem like it's for something. I just want it to be like casual and just having fun.
In my perspective, I mean, in my opinion, I think I would look forward to having the sports open back up and being able to see JRTC again and teach cadets drill. And just like Carlos said, the social aspect and relationship bonding. Because talking through a camera is pretty hard to have like the feeling, you know, rather than talking in person. But at least we're starting somewhere. So.
I 100% agree what you guys are saying, and just the fact that, you know, maybe like more social events, you know, we can reconnect with people that we saw, and you know, Zoom is cool and everything, and be able to, you know, FaceTime people, but it's not the same as like seeing them in person, you know, and just being around people in general. Because I remember that, you know, when being like quarantined and just staying in your house all day was really, really, really sad and depressive, and like you just didn't get to see any of your friends at all. But and I only did that for just the summer, and imagine our students who are completely 100% online, and they've been doing that ever since March. But it'd be really nice to, you know, have the option for students to like come out and see their friends and maybe make like new connections along the way. um, I know that ever since I've been out, I've met really amazing people, and the where I can like share my thoughts and whatnot. But yeah.
I was going to say pretty much the same thing that Daleen is the same thing that Daleen did. Um, yeah, definitely. Just even if it's just some small groups and stuff, or if there were like small groups that got together and then put on a rotation or something. Um, definitely just social interaction because it's still not even the same with in-person school and stuff. Um, it's not the same as just like just being able to really connect with people. So if we could do like small social groups of just we're all just hanging out, talking, maybe helping each other with things, you know. Just yes. Oops, accidentally muted myself. Sorry. Some sort of social aspects, even if it's just kind of on a smaller scale.
I think we hear you guys loud and clear. You guys want to be able to see each other and socialize and interact and have fun. If for whatever reason, you know, like fingers crossed, we're not going to be moving backwards, but if programs do have to be virtual, are there any like virtual activities that you find fun and engaging, or you know, what would be some virtual things that you would actually enjoy doing, if there are any? You can also say you don't enjoy any virtual things.
Well, for me, it's kind of hard to put in like certain virtual activities that can apply to like what exactly your class is doing or the mission of your program. But for me, in my student council meetings, I'm actually usually in charge of like doing energizers or little activities online. So I've done like online bingo games. I've tried to be a bit creative with a few other games, but having incentives too really helps with participation. But um, anything to just get their mind off of doing so much work and giving them that little break is enough for me, at least.
Besides online school, I've got to say Youth of the Year. Youth of the Year has impacted my life. Pretty much, yeah, impacted my whole life. I'd say positively. At first, when I first went to the first day that I went to the Youth of the Year online, my heart was pounding. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet new people, you know. And as being a part of the Youth of the Year, I still was very, I don't want to sound rude about it, but like introverted. Like I didn't really speak up that much, only unless they called me out. But I really like the fact that they helped me with my speaking skills, helped me talk more about myself. And because when I had to do my speech, the first thing that came out was not about me. It was about, oh, I went here, she did this, or my cousin did this. It's like about everyone else except for me. And being a part of the Youth of the Year helped me discover more about myself. Be like, oh, I didn't realize that I was this kind of person, you know. If you get what I'm trying to say, I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot the question. I was listening too much to Kiyomi.
Yeah, so the question is, if things were to go back to virtual or remain virtual, are there any virtual activities that you find fun and engaging?
Oh yeah. Personally, for myself, I'm more like of a hands-on person, like an in-person thing, and that's like the best way I, can learn. But I do like what Carla was saying about, just, playing games online with, friends and whatnot, just to get your mind off of, the pressure of school and the hardships of home, and just be able to, like have some quality time to yourself and with your friends. But I think that would be a really good idea.
Um, I don't really like online things, and I haven't had like virtual classes or anything. So my school never did the virtual classes thing. They just did assignments online, and then I started coming in person. So I'm not really sure what kind of virtual things I would want. Probably just because I haven't really been too much in terms of like FaceTiming, Zooming, doing things like that.
I feel like you're.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Kiyomi.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna add on to that. I actually did do a couple virtual online things for GRTC. we had a talent show, but it was online. We had to like make a video of ourselves and then share it to them. And since I said I played ukulele, I did a little bit of that, and then I posted online. And then I got a certificate for being a part of the Cadets Got Talent, which was pretty fun. I wasn't there for the night of and saw everyone else's performance, but it was pretty fun. We're also having academic stuff coming up, like an academic challenge for all of the GRTC programs from different schools. I'm gonna see if I can get on that. Also for Boys and Girls Club, we've done many online activities for the kids that are at home. I'm not one of those kids, as you can see, but we've opened up to the kids that aren't able to be here, so and gave them opportunities to come or be a part of the Boys and Girls Club still yet, but virtually. And I think that's pretty cool that they still get to be here, but and enjoy what we're going through too, doing what we're doing too.
So a lot of people and schools are starting to plan for the summer and thinking about like summer programs. So what sort of, I mean, I know we have 3 seniors here, and I'm sure you guys are just going to be excited to graduate and move forward to college. But if you were like still going to be going to school again next year, what are some of the things that you would do or that you would like to see in terms of like a summer program?
I would, if I was going into senior year next year, I would want to see graduates, like recent graduates, speak to us, because their experience is very different from the process that adults like tell you in terms of like college. So that's why next year I'm hoping to speak to some of the juniors now to kind of help them with their college applications and making sure that they're doing well during that process. So just bringing back alumni if you can to speak to the students and give their perspective on the whole college application process, and also providing support for families who don't really understand the college process. So there's immigrants who kind of don't understand the financial aid aspect of college. So just providing resources for both things would be really nice.
Some things that I think would be very useful over the summer is definitely just kind of going back to tools for time management and kind of just mental health tools altogether. Just I lost my train of thought. Just different tools maybe to keep yourself organized and on task and get done what you need to get done despite other things that might be happening. And then also just tools to help you get through different things in life, deal with depression, anxiety, other things like that, different mental illnesses. I think that would definitely be very helpful.
I agree with both Carlo and Sunshine that going through this, well, with Sunshine, her part was like talking about the social part and the depression. It really helps with kids that are trying to, figure out. Sorry, hold on. My computer's dying. Sorry.
Daleen, did you have something to add while Kiyomi works out her charging situation?
Oh yeah, sure. Um, as Kimmy was saying, I really do agree with what Carlo and Sunshine was saying, and the fact that both hearing alumni. I've listened. I'm sorry, background behind me. I've actually talked to a couple of alumni who graduated from the school, and just like hearing their insight and what they did. One of them, I asked him like, so like, did you immediately know what you wanted to do with your life? And he's like, honestly, not really, but with like support and whatnot, I was able to get there. And maybe what Sunshine was talking about, maybe sharing with some helpful tips on mental awareness and whatnot. Just like fact, just sending a link to someone that or a student or literally anybody, and be like, hey, I saw this really cool video and made me think of you. I hope that you like it, or you can learn something from it. And I think just the fact making connections with people is the most important thing of all.
I agree with all of you guys on top of the alumni and mental health, because you're gonna need a lot of guidance. In my perspective, I need like a lot of guidance trying to figure out what I want to do. And having someone out there that's already been and walked the steps will encourage you to be like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too, And hearing someone else's story might just motivate you to go out there and see the world for what it can give you. And maybe you can do something to impact and change other people's lives. I also agree with Sunshine on the aspect of trying to help other students' mental health, because I've had many friends that have went down that road of depression, and I've had a hard time trying to help them out, because I've never really know how it felt to be in that situation. But having someone there that like can guide you and help you can be really helpful. That's that's my, opinion as a youth.
Yeah, thank you guys for sharing. So I think we'll move to some Q&As from the chat. So Paula, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for bringing new ideas and concern with all of us. We are here to listen and to learn from you. So I think this is very, very useful for us, the adults here in the room. So yeah, I wanted to say thank you so much. So there are a lot of questions in the chat, and I was thinking of asking by category. So, but also the person who wrote the question in the chat, if they want to expand, just unmute yourself and expand. But one of the questions that is talking about, things that you experience a lot of different things during the COVID, during the pandemic. But what of the things that you experience you should be maintained in the future? What are the things that you experienced during the COVID that you could keep for the future?
That was Janice's question. Oh, she's still there. I was just gonna clarify for you, Janice, but you're still there. Go for it. Oh, okay, she needs to go. Go ahead.
So sorry, I couldn't find my mute button. I just wondered if there are any, first of all, mahalo to you guys. Woo, you just have so inspired me, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. So wow, I'm so appreciative of all your thoughts and how brave you all are in speaking so candidly. But I was thinking in our office, for instance, we talk about the things that we've had to do to adapt to COVID-19 that are actually things we probably want to carry forward into the future. There's some things that are working for us. And I just wonder if there are any adaptations, any changes that any of you experience that you hope live on beyond this quarantine, this lockdown time, and this period of such transition. Thanks so much, and I'll get off now.
Thank you, Janice. That was actually a really good question. I think for me, just like flexibility, and maybe when like you plan something, it's not gonna like turn out how it is, and just the fact like instead of just being like I can't do this anymore, I'm just gonna give up and not even try, then maybe you can just do another way. I've During this pandemic, I've come a lot of like situations where nothing like really went as it like was supposed to go, and I had to like try something new, and sometimes it was like one of the best memories that I've ever had. And I think that's such an important thing to take into outside into the real world, because nothing's set in stone, honestly. Also, the fact that you don't know what people are going through, and during this pandemic, that's honestly opened up my eyes so much. And the fact that everyone's life is different, and you could be like around one of those people who just regularly share out their what's going on in their life, and that's how they are, and there's nothing wrong about that. But there's also that shy, quiet kid who could be going through like the hardest part out of all of us, and they won't even say a word. And just the fact that everyone's going through something different, and just try not to treat them how you don't want to be treated.
Definitely agree with everything that Daly was just talking about. Also, definitely checking up on people. Like Daleen said, there's some people who might not talk about what they're going through, just randomly. There's some people who do. I think I'm one of those people, but um, definitely some people who internalize a lot of things, and so it might better to just letting people know that you're there for them is definitely something that I know that I could do more often, definitely.
So there is a question that someone put in the chat, but I also very personally very interesting. It's about your friends and your classmates who are not engaged or motivated to participate in any out of school time activity, or they're missing. What do you think will encourage them to come to after school programs, or what do you think it will be a good way to engage them?
For me, the best way to engage other people is to have their friends and peers hop on too. If you're asking for just one of them, it's more than likely they won't attend, because it's kind of a new thing for everyone, and having someone come along with you is gonna help a lot when it comes to engagement. So you could always provide or at least include a bit more people than normal, so everyone can kind of participate, their friends, and encourage them to bring whoever they want to. And you can also incentivize it, like I mentioned earlier. So
I totally agree what you're saying. And I think that you should always encourage have like people's friends jump on, because it's always no fun when you're alone and whatnot. I think another thing that to help students jump more online is just to make them like feel safe. Like, this is a safe environment that you can freely talk about things that you feel passionate about, and no one's going to judge you at all, if even if other people's opinions are different from other people's, then we'll still like want to hear your opinion about something, and just to know that it's a safe place that you can escape from if home life is being disruptive, or if school life is putting too much pressure on you.
I agree with both Daylene, and how to pronounce your name now, and Carlo on top the on top the aspect. Keep saying that word. I agree with both Daylene and Carlo, that you should. It's nice that the person has someone that they know with them while they're applying or encouraged or motivated to join any after school program, because it makes them feel like, oh, I have someone here to by my side, and it's, like they feel safe. And then while talking to the person, they probably might want to open up more about themselves, and it would really encourage them. Because my first time going to the Boys and Girls Club, I didn't want to be near anyone. Okay, I was like, why is everyone so loud? Why is, like when you first enter a new environment, you're like, I don't want to be here, You're like, I want to go back home where it's nice and safe and I'm comfortable. That's the thing. They want to be somewhere it's comfortable. They don't want to reach out and be in an uncomfortable situation. So making it comfortable for them will really help them open up more of themselves. Yeah, I take that too, because I've been in many uncomfortable situations. I hope many people here can agree with me. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Well, it's 3 p.m. already, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I will continue this conversation for many more minutes. But I know some people have to go. But I would like to give you guys the opportunity to share any other thoughts or, ideas that you might have that you would like to share with us.
I don't really have anything else to say. I think I've said as much as I had to for the questions at least. But I just want to thank you everyone for coming on and for sharing your time with us. It's very appreciated.
Same. I think I pretty much said everything that I wanted to, but thank you everybody for being willing to listen to us and just being here, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I also want to say, thank you to everyone who came and, wanted to listen to us. And it's not every day where, you have a big group of people and wanting to know the opinions of students. But I also want to say, thank you for all the questions that you've given us. And I hope that, what we talked about today really resonates with everyone.
I also want to say thank you. Thank you for coming out and taking the time out of your day to hear us and our opinions. Well, my opinions. And I also have like at least one thing I want to say before we close out is that I really want to encourage other youths and help them figure out their why and why they want to be here and what they want to do. Because at first I also wanted to figure out my why, and I guess that's what I want others to do, especially for youths that come from poverty or worse housing or not that much of a great supportive background, and encourage them to find their why and keep working hard and meet people like you who want to help them and help and persuade them to, figure out their great future. Thank you.
Oh, what a awesome way to end us out, Kiyomi. That was really great. And I just want to invite everyone on Zoom to give a virtual round of applause. I know you guys already or share your mahalos in the chat, but that was just really amazing. And thank you again so much for sharing your thoughts, your experiences, and being open and honest with everyone. You guys are so nice to thank us for listening, but really we have to thank you. So yeah, I also just wanted to encourage all of you guys, to do this type of activity with your own youth. As awesome as our 4 youth are, they are just representing 4 youth. So some of their ideas might be different from the kids that you have at your own communities. And so, you know, gives them the space to be open and honest and to share ideas. And yeah, I think we can really, obviously, we can learn a lot from our youth. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm putting a link to a short evaluation in the chat, and so we'd love to get your feedback and any other ideas or questions you have. Paula, any last closing words?
No, echo what you just said. Guys, you were amazing. You are amazing. And we are so thankful to have you today sharing the ways we can improve, you know, and support you better. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank all of you for participating in today's webinar. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks at our next meeting. Thank you, everybody.